Yep.
Are you kinky?
Are you curious?
Welcome to another video episode of BSing with BaraknSheba.
I'm Barak.
And I'm Sheba.
And we're going to talk about kink tonight.
First question is, can you tell me a little about how to figure out my power exchange without making my dom feel like I'm being too challenging?
Perhaps we should talk a little bit about power exchange and what it is first.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what a power exchange is maybe something like you've read it in 50 Shades of Grey. There's a dominant and submissive, or a master-slave. There's some form of authority exchange where one gives over and one accepts.
Right. So one of the pieces of advice that I would give to somebody going into a power exchange relationship is try working on what your needs, wants, and desires are separate from one another. Maybe write them down. You can journal about them in a notepad, in your iPad. You can just text them into your phone, whatever, whatever way you choose to make notes about what it is that you're looking for and what it is that you're willing to come to the table with.
Mm-hmm.
Then come back together and share. Because I think that way you're not trying to figure out what the other person is looking for. You're not peeking over your shoulder trying to figure out how to answer to make them happy.
That's a good suggestion. Now, when you're looking at your needs, wants, and desires, I would say a need is something that you have to have in the relationship. A want is something that might cause you emotional pain if you don't get it. And a desire is certainly an add to that is like a cherry on a whipped cream sundae.
When you present your needs, wants, and desires, or your whipped cream sundae, make sure that you do that in a respectful way. If you don't want to challenge your dominant or D type's energetic in the relationship, it's really important that you present the information about what it is that you want in such a way that they are able to accept that and not feel defensive about it.
Mm-hmm. Because as a D type, we're interested. We want to know. We want a greater book to choose from. We want something that we can add to, that we can have in our little notebooks in our head, so that when it comes time to be dominant, we can create different scenarios that you've already approved of at an earlier time.
Right. For example of that would be something like, "Sir, I like to get up later on Saturday mornings because it's a routine that I've gotten into. I like to get up more at like 10 o'clock and then start my day. If it would please you, I would like to continue that practice."
Mm-hmm. And from another point of view, if you have something that they're doing that you don't like, this is an opportunity to create more of a connection, to get your needs, wants, and desires across without seeming as though you're topping from the bottom, so to speak. So if you were to say, "Ma'am, I really enjoy when you sit on my face. However, if you go too long, I start to feel like I'm drowning, and it doesn't work for me that well. But I love the fact that you're taking control and making that choice for me."
So I think that's a great example.
Yeah. So it lets them know what you like and what you don't like, but it still kind of sets an awareness in their mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Another thing that we actually do in our power exchange with our girl is we have her journal. It's an online blog, an online journal that she uses that only she and we have access to. Mm-hmm. And she is allowed to go into that, and it's a safe space for her to talk about her feelings and to process anything that the three of us have done or anything that she's done outside of the relationship and what it might bring to our relationship. It gives us some insight into how she is processing things and what her emotional state is, but it's also not a blank slate letting her just write down what it is and not communicate it with us. We require that if something is happening, she needs to be able to speak that to us.
And that brings us to the next point. It's really important to have a safe space, some place where you can shed your roles, no longer you're the dominant, no longer the submissive, and you become just ordinary people negotiating a relationship. It's important to have a space where that can work. Some of our friends call this porch time. where the submissive will requestfully ask for porch time and then communicate what's been going on with them in still a respectful way, but from a neutral playing field, so that they can get across what they need to say without harming the dynamic.
Right. And then once you go back inside, instead of being on porch time, then you step right back into those roles, having given the information that you needed to.
Mm-hmm. So, hopefully that answers the question.
We want you to keep it hot, wet, hard, and horny.
And consensual. I'm Barak.
And I'm Sheba. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching.
So how can you reach us? You can find me on FetLife at Brat_Sheba. That's BRAT_SHEBA.
You can find me at BARAK at FedLife.
You can also find me on Twitter. I do the twat. And you can find me at Brat_Sheba. That's BRAT_SHEBA on Twitter and on Facebook. Or you can contact AIS_org on Twitter or Facebook.
Mm-hmm. If you want to just email us, you could email us at BARAK, the letter N, SHEBA, at AOL.com, at Yahoo, and at Gmail.
Mm-hmm. Or you can get the Adventures in Sexuality website, which is adventuresinsexuality, all one word, .org.
So thanks for listening to
another episode of BSing with BaraknSheba.
We'll be back on the first Monday of next month.
We'll see you then.
Take care.